Hey guys, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about Black Lives Matter, and this is a bit more informal than usual because I'm broadcasting this live as a stream of consciousness rather than a planned video. So it's probably going to be rather short in comparison to the podcast, so I won't be checking the chat or anything, but feel free to comment after the stream. So we've got the media that's pushing this whole race war narrative. They really want to drive the point home that racism is alive and well, and every time someone who happens to be white kills someone who happens to be black, it's obviously because they hate blacks. Now, I'm not saying that never happens, but certainly not every single time. We're going to step a little bit into conspiracy territory, I guess, but sometimes I think the media purposely keeps the so-called little people fighting so they can distract people from political corruption and, concentrating on real actual issues rather than these manipulated ones. They're pushing these stories about the police killing blacks to the forefront because they know it strikes a nerve, even though it's a very small portion of the daily happenings around the country. They want society to be divided. They want to speak to a specific narrative that's going to allow them to get ratings and votes for the politicians that support those ideas. So whenever these movements come along, they always talk about, well, solidarity, solidarity. I take real issue with standing up for someone simply because you share a race or gender. This is why we have these idiotic movements like feminism and MGTOW, polluting society, where rather than look at people as individuals, they judge based on inconsequential attributes of their being. Oh, well, you're a man, so you're a rapist, or you're a woman, so you're only out to take men for all they're worth. Defending someone simply because they share a race is stupid. Individuality matters. That should be the hashtag, really. I don't think anybody should be harmed for the color of their skin, but rather than pretend every instance is one of racism, we really need to take a step back and look at the facts and take each case on an individual basis. So let's just talk quickly about why Black Lives Matter is hypocritical. You have all this talk about how the police are going around killing blacks. Well, where is Black Lives Matter when people are killing each other on the streets? If you're going to posture about how Black Lives Matter, then those people should matter too, not just the ones that you can use to push your narrative. It's entirely hypocritical. You and your behaviors are not shielded from criticism simply because you are of a certain race and you think you're oppressed. Maybe before you go out and try to battle racism, while simultaneously generalizing an entire race of people, you should stop and think to yourself, hey, maybe I'm acting like the racists I claim to be opposing. Maybe that's not the best way to get my message across. Maybe I should stop making martyrs out of people that were killed in the process of committing a crime. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't unfortunate that some of these folks lost their lives. However, let's be real here. If they had chosen to do something more productive with their time, they wouldn't have ended up in a situation that got them killed. All right, yeah, I agree that police should not use excessive force, but at the same time, we ultimately have to be responsible for our own actions and get this idea that the rest of the world is going to protect us from harm out of our heads. It would be great if we could all walk down the street freely without worry that anyone is ever going to hurt us, but let's say that it's just not realistic. This isn't victim blaming. This is reality. You need to make better choices. If you want a better world and a better society, you need to lead by example rather than trying to force the rest of the world to bend to your will. It's not going to work. It only creates more chaos and more conflict and more segregation and more separation of people based on race rather than bringing people together. And instead of saying Black Lives Matter, we need to realize that either every life matters or none of them matter. It's not a selective concept, and you don't really have the right to decide that. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Like I said, it's just a very quick stream to let my thoughts out on the topic. Let me know what you think, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.